What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you saw my last video, you know that I recently launched my collaboration with why did I just get tongue-tied there? My collaboration with Nudestix, which I'm so excited about. Thank you again for all of your support. If you've purchased one, if you've shared it on Instagram, whatever form your support comes in, I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for all the love. I was definitely so overwhelmed with happiness this past week. My launch event was on Monday, and to see an event for me was insane, and your guys' response to it has just been incredible. So first of all, I just have to say thank you, and today's video is for you guys. I'm going to be kind of doing like a masterclass going over in detail my technique for using cream products, since this collection is all cream pencils that can be used on the eyes, lips, and cheeks, or the face. So I do have some techniques, specific tools, and things that I do when using these products. So I thought, what better time to go over that in detail using items from my Soft and Smoky palette so that you guys can easily recreate the looks at home and feel like pros when using these products, even though honestly, they're so easy to use. You can just use your fingertips. It doesn't really take much effort, but I do have a little bit of a technique when it comes to using these that I thought I would share with you. And in my last video, which I will link up here for you guys if you haven't checked it out already, I go over the collaboration in detail, plus link everywhere where you can purchase it. I'll link it down below. Again, it's available at Sephora.com, Ulta.com, Cult Beauty, and I forget everywhere else, Nudestix.com. But I will definitely make sure to link everywhere where you can purchase my kit down below again for you guys. Again, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future tutorials using my collaboration. And with that said, let's get into today's video. All right, so I've already prepped my skin. I'm gonna show you guys what I use, just so you know. For foundation, I used the YSL All Hours foundation. I've really been loving this one. It just looks really natural on my skin, and it lasts a really long time. I really like it. Shade BD45. And then for my concealer, I of course prepped the under eyes with my Don't Eat All Ultra Wear shade 260 to brighten up the under eyes. And then my concealer combo, I've been loving these two shades together. It's the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in shades Light Beige and Almond. And the one thing I do want to note for you guys, which I should have shown on camera, is that I didn't apply any of my concealer or foundation to my eyelids. I keep that area bare when using cream eyeshadows, because if not, I feel like the foundation and the concealer kind of just start to blend in with the cream product and cause it to look a little muddy, and it creates like a really weird effect. So I like to leave it bare. So instead, when I'm applying my foundation and concealer, I kind of just work around it and blend really softly. So the first thing I want to go over is powder, because they're used to, I don't think so much anymore. It's still pretty much like a general rule that you shouldn't apply cream or liquid product over powder. And why is that? That is because it can start to lift whatever you've already set with powder. It can start to look cakey. It can just get a little messy. The general rule is that once you've set with powder, you're done with your creams and your liquids. However, I've noticed a lot lately on YouTube that a lot of people still apply cream highlighters on top, and there is a certain technique that I like to use in order for it to not get cakey or weird on the skin. So I'm going to be using the classic Laura Mercier translucent setting powder to show you guys how I would set my face when using cream products. So I feel so educational and informative right now, the way I'm speaking. But I really want you guys to get these techniques down, because I think some cream products can be scary and intimidating, but honestly, once you get the hang of them, you learn to love them, because they actually last a lot longer and look more natural and skin-like than powder products. So what I'm gonna do with the powder is, instead of really packing on the powder and baking, I'm gonna do a light sweep of powder to lightly set everything so it's not moving around or getting cakey, or not cakey, or creasing up on the skin. So I'm gonna take this Hourglass double-ended brush, and what I'm gonna do is dip it into the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I top off the excess into the container so I'm not wasting my powder. And then I just lightly dust it onto the skin, even the under eyes, but I'm not gonna pack on the powder, because with creams, you still wanna have a little bit of mobility. You don't want everything locked in place, because if not, you're not gonna be able to blend out the cream product, and again, it's gonna start to cake up and look weird. So the first cream product I'm gonna use is a cream eyeshadow pencil, and I'm gonna be using items from my Soft and Smoky palette with Nudestix. If you guys haven't already seen it, I do have an entire video on my collection. I'll link it up here for you guys. to go and check it out. It does come with this little pouch with this salsa girl. I just love her. I'm gonna use for today's tutorial, I'm gonna use Twilight, which was already sitting out here. I guess I was planning on using it. This is the more cool toned shimmery eye pencil from my kit. It's the Magnetic Luminous Eye Color, again in Twilight. And honestly, what sparked the idea for this informative tutorial is my cousin actually texted me because she purchased my kit and she wanted to know which tools were best for blending out cream products, specifically the eye pencils. The two that I have here that I tend to grab the most are, un momento por favor. The first one is this It Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe No Tug Dual Eyeshadow Brush, brush number 5. Looks like this. And when I say I use a very specific brush, I like a brush that is really dense and almost sort of stiff, but still fluffy. Has some movement, but not too much. You guys got that? Another one that you see me use a lot is this LH Cosmetics 304 brush. Same thing, really dense, not too stiff, very flexible. And you guys can see, like, let me just compare it to something that's too fluffy that I wouldn't use. So something like my Smith 247 that I really love. This one will take a beating with a cream eyeshadow because this is meant for powder. It's, I believe these are natural brush hairs. This is definitely synthetic. Synthetic works best with cream and liquid products. If you use natural hair brushes with cream or liquids, your brush will start to fall apart eventually. They just can't handle it. These two brushes are prime examples of the kind of brushes that I like to use for blending out my cream eyeshadow. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and apply Twilight all over my lid, and then I'm gonna start blending it out with the It Cosmetics brush. And what I like to do is I start really close to the lash line. You can also, if you need to, hold your eye back and apply the pencil if that's easier. For me, I can't do that because I have to hold this mirror, but these go on really, really easily. They're super creamy and blendable. But if you need to, you can also use the back of your hand to warm it up a bit before going directly onto the eyelid. And then once you have the product on there, I'm gonna take the It Cosmetics brush and blend out along the edge of the eyeshadow where I stopped the application, I guess you could say. So hopefully this is in focus. I'm gonna do this real quick. And what I love about these cream eyeshadows, I think I mentioned it in my collab video, is that when you blend them out, it almost looks like you have two eyeshadows on, even though it's only one. The luminous or the magnetic luminous eye pencils tend to do that, and I think that's a really cool effect for a one-step eyeshadow look. So all I'm doing is blending in little windshield wiper motions. I'm not doing small circles, just going back and forth and back and forth. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the lower lash line. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this down here. This is one of the reasons why you don't wanna pack on powder underneath the eyes, because you wanna be able to blend this out easily. If you have a lot of powder on, you can still blend it. It's just a little more difficult, and again, it might cake up or get creasy and weird. So do a little less powder and then set afterwards. So using that same brush, same side, blending it out and connecting it to that color up top. And then if you want to, if you blended it out and it's not looking the way you want it to, you can always take your beauty blender that you were using or whatever brush or tool you were using to apply your foundation and concealer and go around the edge to clean it up a bit, just like that. And boom. That is how you would apply a cream eyeshadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. And this is the final result. Again, take your beauty blender and clean up the edges if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my brows, add mascara, and then we're gonna get into cheeks and highlighter. And I think that's it. I was about to do my lower mascara, and then I realized this is when I would further set the under eye. So I'm gonna show you guys how I would do that really quick. I'm gonna take that same Laura Mercier powder, and if there is any creasing, which I don't really have much, I feel like I kind of blended it out when I was blending out the cream eyeshadow. But if I do, I just kind of pick it up with the beauty blender, like so. And instead of packing on the powder, what I do is I take a small eyeshadow brush. A really fluffy one is preferable. This is my Smith 232 that I use on the eyes all the time. And I actually just dip this brush into the powder, the Laura Mercier powder, tap off the excess, and then I just really work that powder into the under eye, specifically where I crease up, which is right here. Blush, cream blush. I have really been into cream blushes lately. I love the way they look. They look a little more airbrushed. Powder blushes sometimes can look, or they can lack luminosity. They can look a little dull. With the cream blush, I don't get that, especially with the Intense Matte Lip and Cheek pencils from my kit, you know. They work really, really well, especially because they're matte. And for today, I'm gonna be using the color Purity, which is like a really beautiful, on me it's like a deeper nude, but it can be a nude on darker skin tones. And these are, you can sharpen these. They're not twist up pencils, they sharpen. For the cheeks, okay, so you have two options. The first option I don't really recommend because again, it can get messy, it can ruin the base that you worked so hard to build on, and you don't wanna have to take everything off and start over again. So the first way is to swipe it directly onto your cheeks and blend it out with your fingertip. This is a great technique if you're just wearing a tinted moisturizer, something really light and you don't have a lot of powder on, but someone like me who likes to set with my hair. Someone like me who likes to set with powder and likes a little more foundation and concealer, it can get messy. So what I like to do is create a little blob like so on my hand. Not a lot. That looks like a lot, but it's not a lot. And then I take my beauty blender that I was using to apply my foundation and I just really work it into that bottom side of the beauty blender like that. And then apply it to the cheeks. I start at the apples and then blend back. So just like that. And see how it gives you almost like an airbrush finish? I love the way cream blushes look. I think it looks so natural and soft, which seems contradictory, but doesn't it look so good? I love the way cream blushes look. It's all I've been packing on my travels are these pencils because I don't have time to pack like 20 million powder blushes. I always say all you need is like a cool tone pinky blush and something that's a little more red to go with a variety of looks. Maybe something peachy as well. But you shouldn't have to pack like 1,000,001 blushes. And I feel like this color will work with so many looks. Okay, so now the last thing I want to show you guys is how to apply a cream highlighter because there's also a little trick to this one. And again, it involves the beauty blender. Anytime I've applied cream products with my fingertips on foundation that's already been set, my fingers tend to pick up the foundation. It's almost like I'm leaving fingerprints on my face. So when it comes to using a cream highlighter, I again like to use a beauty blender. Something about the beauty blender just applies it really flawlessly, almost airbrush. It doesn't mess with whatever work you've already done underneath. And for this, you might want another clean beauty blender. I'm gonna use the same one. I'm just gonna use a clean side, maybe like, you know, right here. And I'm gonna use the What's Up highlighter from Benefit, and I'm gonna pick it up directly on to the beauty blender. You can use your hand to blend it out a bit if it's looking like too much on the sponge. And then with this, I just again take the beauty blender and I start applying it to the high points of my face like that. Look at that. It just looks so much more natural and skin-like, don't you guys agree, versus some powder products? So trust me, once you get the hang of applying and using cream products, you'll be seriously addicted because especially in direct sunlight, when you're outdoors, when the sun hits your skin, it's not as noticeable as a powder product that can look more so like glittery or just not natural. This cream products just look so good to me. And if you're not a big foundation wearer, if you're someone that doesn't like wearing foundation, cream products go better on bare skin than they do or than a powder product does. I feel like powder needs something to cling onto. It needs that base of foundation or something like tacky, like an eyeshadow base or whatever. But on bare skin, cream products look incredible. And that is it. Boom, boom. You're glowing. You got the blush on, the cream eyeshadow. This is not gonna budge, but if you still feel like you look a little shiny, you can go in with some more powder over a cream product. So I'm gonna take that same Laura Mercier powder and I'm gonna take the smaller side of the Hourglass brush to be a little more precise with my powder application. And I'm just gonna go ahead and powder down areas that are looking a little too shiny for me, like the center of the face. And I'm also gonna apply the lip, which is gonna be Purity as well, and call it a day. All right, you guys, that completes today's masterclass. At least it felt like one. I hope you guys found it super informative. If you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to ask down below. Send me some DMs on Instagram. I'm pretty good about responding to DMs on Instagram. I love interacting with you guys there. It feels like I'm texting a friend. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Any other requests using my collaboration, again, list them or leave them down below in the comment section. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.